Bircher Bar. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Anita.
And we're here to talk to you about all things health and wellness.
What? A little typical cliche.
Money's not an issue.
Oh, there's that. There's that.
Is superfoods worth it?
Is this an expensive multivitamin?
Personally,
Like,
I just wasn't in enough green.
Honest. A little bit about myself. I am a registered pharmacist and I am very much involved in the natural medicine space. So I love to view things in a very holistic way, incorporating natural medicines, supplements, nutrients, and how that plays with the Western medicine.
I have a bit of history with my health, so you could say I'm sort of the human guinea pig for the Bircher Bar. So I'm interested in just optimizing my health and wellness, longevity. That's something that I'm interested in, just sharing a bit of my personal journey.
As a pharmacist, I always get questions about supplements and nutrients because it's such a common place to buy these products. And, you know, a lot of the questions they come up, do they work? What's the right one for me? And so I've had to learn really quickly about what these products are, what the evidence is. And it's been really interesting, really upskilling in this space and understanding what the evidence, what the, you know, the science is behind it, behind a lot of these products that we look at and we recommend.
I see a lot with Isa, her friendship group. A lot of people just ask her a lot of for health advice. You know, some of our friends have also starting their own families and kids, and then that sort of a whole new set of questions happen there. So we're here to answer those typical frequently asked questions. So are you looking to supercharge your health with some greens? What we've noticed in recent times is that when everyone starts kicking off their health journey, whether it be starting the gym or trying to start a New Year's resolution, they always start with green powders. So we thought we'll just dig into the different types of green powders today and actually pull apart the science and some more frequently asked questions. What do you think, Isabella?
Great topic to talk about. It's been around for a really long time. I've sold it in pharmacies many years ago, and now it's just, I'm seeing a resurgence of this interest. And, you know, this is not from our own, you know, my work experience and such, but also from your journey. And you know, we really mean what we say. And I want to show you, this is no joke when Anita says that she's a guinea pig and, you know, really interested in optimizing her health all the time. So I'll just show you a few things that, you know, we have at home here that, you know, Anita has used in time. Powder here. What is this one? You want to talk to that?
Yeah. So I think maybe we could start with, you know, what my health in terms of where I'm coming from as a consumer. A lot of the times our dynamic is that because Isa is more the scientist. She comes from a very logical, practical, background. For me, I'm just your everyday person that's really looking to, optimize my health. So I buy a whole heap of vitamins to try. That's just my usual routine, and then I sort of run it by her after the fact. And so she's just gone through the drawers and looked at some of the green powders that I used, and she's just going to break it apart as to what's good, what's not, you know, what could be helpful, and, really look into which one's sort of better for you, ultimately. So let's tackle the question, what is a super green powder?
Yeah, so just to break it down, a super green powder is basically, you can get it as a mix of different green powders into the one product, or you can buy individual green powders that you see quite commonly as well. Basically, it's considered a superfood because, you know, we know in terms of all the green vegetables and fruits, they contain a lot of nutrients that are really helpful in terms of providing you with your essential vitamins and minerals. And the way that they've been able to source it is to actually extract it from the actual real fruit and vegetables, freeze dry it, and then mix it all up and blend it all into a product, and then that way you can take it as a daily supplement. And that's essentially what a green powder is, and it's in the powder form, hence the term powder. Different companies like to refer to them as different things. You've got products like AG1 that refers to us as a nutritional foundation supplement, and then you've got products that just like to call themselves super green powders. So it varies from different companies and what they have unique in their formulation.
Because I'm your typical consumer that wants to optimize health, so let me walk you through the possible journeys that you've gone through. Certainly, when I started my, green smoothie or green powder journey, one of the things that I looked at was the more basic type of powders. So you can see here, if you want to pass me my range. We've got the barley grass juice powder. So those who are medical medium fans, he would have talked about this. That's supposedly helpful for taking out heavy metals, although we haven't really dug into the science too much on whether this is a fact, but that's something that I tried in the past. And then we've got our good old spirulina powder, which we can go through a little bit more through our Bircher Bar blog and really dig into the science on that. So I did that for quite a number of years, but then COVID hit, and I couldn't really get the usual powders that I wanted to get, and so I ended up going to Harris Farm and getting just a very generic green powder too. So I didn't really look too much on the content, so maybe Isa can help me break it down a little bit more later. So let's talk about the benefits of super green powders.
Yeah, so just quite simply, like I, wanted to understand from Anita's perspective, why is it that you chose to start taking the super greens? How did you think it was going to help your health?
So from a consumer standpoint and from just me personally, I just wasn't eating enough greens. COVID or just generally, my routine was off. So I just thought I'd put some basic foundations, some greens. So am I doing it right?
So that at a very high level, because I guess growing up, just the fundamental basics, your parents growing up will tell you to make sure you eat your fruit and vegetables, eat your veggies. Because why? Because vegetables are good for you, but they're never able to explain to you why it was good for you. And so similarly, this is why, we can sort of break this down a little bit more with some of the benefits of the super greens powders. Superfood, I guess my understanding of it is basically, we've all heard the terms of being antioxidant and all these, wonderful benefits. Antioxidant meaning it helps, take away all the bad stuff in your body. It goes around in your system, it starts cleaning up stuff. And all those things are actually naturally occurring in fruits and vegetables. And so, with all that history and that knowledge from a naturopathic nutritional perspective, we've been able to incorporate, it into a supplement form, which is great. Like, I just wanted to talk to this. Like, this product, Anita was saying it was more in terms of a generalized all-in-one type of super greens. It's not really a generic. This product is actually a really good product that is formulated by naturopaths, because fundamentally, nutrition comes from that philosophy around naturopathic health, everything that's in nature that's naturally occurring. And so with greens, the benefits in it is because it's nutrient dense, because that's what it's good for you, because it's got your vitamins, it's got your minerals. But greens has an actual another way. Like we're of an Asian background, and for those of you who are familiar or understand the terms, like you talk about a lot, like being hot, like heaty, and being cold. Right? And so with greens, it actually cools down your system when you're really hot. You're not eating the right foods to help neutralize your system. So that's where that term, the official term in modern medicine or Western medicine, is alkalizing, because our body can become quite acidic.
So because I grew up with a lot of Chinese medicine, so we talk about qi, we talk about, yes, hot and cold. Some people are born with very heaty type of body temperature, and someone like me that I'm born with more of a cooling type of temperature, and then it sort of I guess it sort of goes through back to our Chinese culture. It sort of just integrates into the entire system, like feng shui and fortune telling, whatever. So without getting into it too much, like it's quite important to get the balance right.
That's right, that harmony within your system. And so that's the basic fundamentals of traditional Chinese medicine, right? But which really translate into all forms of, health and medicine, I think, because if your body's too acidic, you need to alkalize it to neutralize that. So this is where greens is really, really good in terms of supplementing and helping your body get that. And exactly like what you said, and me included, in this busy day, we don't eat the right foods. And you just wanting to address it quite simplistically by increasing more greens into your diet.
Exactly. So, okay, so what is I guess let's talk about the do's and don'ts of, buying greens. So one of the things that I notice about certain products is that they do have additional sugars in them. Is that a particular concern? So I did sort of look. After I tried the product, I realized that there was a lot more sugar than I expected. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm okay with that because the fact that there's sugars, I guess the difference is it added sugars or is it natural occurring sugars? Because if they're extracting their greens and the nutrients from actual fruits contain natural sugars. And so there's going to be an element of that, sweet compound in it. Whereas because it tastes rubbish and then you want to add sugar to mask it, that's a different story.
Going through some of the more frequently asked questions is superfoods worth it? Are buying these green powders worth it?
I guess this is such a big question, right? Because health, like for you, when it comes, you always say, what, that typical cliche.
Money's not an issue.
Oh, there's that. Money's not an issue. Or, your health is your wealth, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. No, I don't think like normal people. When it comes to health, money is not an issue, really. Yeah.
And so, that's a common question that we found online. And another one I see is it just an expensive multivitamin? But I personally think, no, it's not, because like you said, if we're not eating the right foods, we're not getting enough of it in, this is a great way to supplement with it, right? And so what's you need to decide as a consumer or choosing it is which one is the right for you within your budget, within that sort of stuff. But we just want to equip you with the fundamentals of what it is and if it's the right one for you, because it is a bit confusing out there. There's a lot of products, like you've done your research and you looked into it. You've taken the individual ones, and I'm just sort of trying to make logic of it myself. I'm like, well, what's the difference? Should I take a blend or should I take an individual one? And so
and that goes to my question about the sugar, because I am I'm not quite a diabetic or pre-diabetic, but I am quite sensitive to sugars. So hence why every time I drink something that's a bit too sugary or sweet, I get a little bit sensitive about that. It's just harder for me to digest. And then there are, I guess what you're alluding to is that there are other people that are maybe not as sugar sensitive.
Yeah, that's right. Like everyone has different needs and, what's important to them. And so, you're starting to see people prefer to take just one green supplement, and then some people want to take the mix. For me, it's, like how I think all dietitians or nutritionists, they always say you got to eat a well-rounded diet, eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, eat seasonally, eat different colors of the vegetables and all that sort of stuff. So applying that sort of methodology, I think a blend is actually, a better way, because you're getting a bit of everything. And it's not meant to replace your diet, it's just meant to top up, and that's what supplement means. You're supplementing your diet, right? I think that's a key takeaway from me, and if that's the message that I want to send out there to people. So I have no problems like with you taking these sorts of things, and I generally think it's good.
And then if you're like me, the reason why I'm into greens is also I did some blood tests, and so I know my body. So I mean, that's a really basic test that you can sort of contact your doctor, GP, or naturopath to get you that baseline test. But for me, I just know my body very well, that I I just can't absorb enough fiber, and hence why I've gone down this route in making sure that I get enough fiber in my diet. The sensitivity, the sugar sensitivity, that's that's something that I know through my blood works. So let's talk about some of the, I guess, the benefits that come from having greens. So we talked about nutrients. Maybe it comes from my Chinese herbal sort of background, but I know that every time if I'm eating too much meat or if my system's starting to feel a little bit going down, this is too much information, but your body starts letting off a bit of a smell, and I find that sort of happens to people who train a lot. Actually, I smell it. Like when some very sort of masculine, sort of muscular type of guy sort of walks past me after the gym. They just, I find that they just let off this little smell, and it could be that they're just not having enough greens. I feel and that's actually quite sort of basic sort of Chinese sort of herbal medicine sort of knowledge, that when your system's out of place, drink more soups, have more greens. That's sort of the basic sort of foundation.
Yeah.
I guess the main question is that there's so much on the market. One of the more common questions is what are the differences, and how it would help you.
Yeah, so we talked earlier how you can get individual greens or you can get blended greens. And so there's a lot of different brands out there in the market, and they want to position themselves very, uniquely. And so what I'm finding quite interesting with some of the brands out there is how much they're incorporating into their formulation. So, I mean, one of the new brands that I think you're starting to try now is, the Forest Superfoods, which is an Australian product.
I like it because probably I'm more of a savoury type of palate, so I do like that. It's not sweet, even though it's a little bit. It does have a little bit of sweetness, just natural sort of.
The apple, there's green apples in there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then there's so what I like about it is also there's multiple sort of greens in here. So you've got your wheatgrass, barley grass, kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, alfalfa. So a whole heap of range, just jam packed with nutrients. I quite like that. And not to say that if you want to hold this, my previous sort of ones with the spirulina or all that, they're all good products. But I guess for someone that's busy like me, where I need to just get up and go and just tend to drink all of this in the morning, I just want to know that I've done the right thing. Just whether it be after walking a dog or, doing some exercise, just drink it and then not have to think about what I need to take during the day.
Another product that's quite popular, it's an online brand, which, you've also tried now, is the AG1. And so when Anita showed me this product, I was like looking at the ingredients, and I was quite, impressed by what goes into it. And I understand why they call themselves the foundational nutrition product, because it contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients. But it also has probiotics in there, which is quite good. I think that's for a separate discussion, the whole probiotics piece, but not just probiotics. It's got things like digestive enzymes. It's got adaptogens. Another big buzzword in the health field now is adaptogens.
So what is adaptogens?
Adaptogens, just briefly, is just in terms of products or nutrients that help your body, adapt to stressful scenarios. So
Are they natural though?
yeah, that's right. So adaptogens are things that occur, naturally in your system. So they mimic what your body does. So how your body responds to stress, what sort of nutrients are required to help neutralize what's going on in your system. So taking these herbs or taking these supplements will help mimic that same process in your system, and that's what the term adaptogen means.
Interesting.
And so, so this has pretty much, it's like a buffet, I guess, is how I probably describe it. It's got, a little bit of everything from everywhere to help with that. So it's a very, holistic sort of formulation, which is quite interesting.
Got Huberman that he's quite into it himself, and I was just curious as to how it would help me. And I don't usually get too skeptical, but when I sort of looked at the amount of I guess the ingredients in there, I just wonder, I guess, what are the benefits ultimately, and whether it is beneficial to my system.
Well, the fact that it's, nutrient dense is covering off all the nutritions that you would need on a daily basis that you otherwise would be missing from, what you're not eating. Right. So that's why, back to the fundamentals of you taking a green supplement to top up because you weren't eating enough greens. And then, in addition to that, it's got additional nutrients in there like mushrooms and things like that have really good immune boosting benefits, as well as that being an adaptogen. It talks about probiotics. So probiotics are really good bacteria for your gut, because this is helping you take your gut. And a lot of the reviews from what I've seen out there, people saying after taking it, they're finding that their digestion is a lot better. And so by introducing, the probiotics and, digestive enzymes, that's what's going to sort of help boost that process in your system. And so, there's interesting discussions out there online about people saying, oh, is this an expensive one? And that's why we were trying to cover earlier about, is this an expensive multivitamin? Like, in my opinion, no, because if you were to take each individual product, which we've both done, so we know it's expensive, and I sell these things in pharmacy, it can get really expensive. If you're taking a multivitamin, you're taking a probiotic, you're taking an adaptogen, it starts adding up.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's why, when I sort of sat down and thought about it, I do feel that this is sort of more money for my worth. Like I said, I've taken these jars individually for my own body and my own health, but I think that when I'm busy and just need to get the day rolling, and I wanted to make sure that I hit all the I guess the nutrients levels that I want to hit, I think that AG1 is definitely my go-to vitamin, supplement, greens powder, all mixed in one. And then, occasionally I do enjoy just having a bit of more options in terms of, this one here, the Forest Superfoods. I think this one's a pretty good mix, actually. I just like that it's organic and that's Australian made. So I think that's a wrap in terms of talking about basics of green powders and whether it's right for you, and some of the benefits that comes along with it. Ultimately we are a review site, so you can check out our reviews on different green powders on thebircherbar.com.au. Specifically, you can dig more into the science of AG1. And then I'll also be writing a piece on Forest Superfoods Greens and sort of break it down. Our review process is quite sort of rigorous, so I would usually try the product myself and then really give it a week or two, a few weeks to really sink in and just really think about the effects that it has on my body. And then Isa would then do her review, the scientific review, and make sure that the science stacks up.
If you want to read more about some of the product reviews that we've got on our website, just click the link on below in our comments and see for yourself. We've added links there. We've also got some really special, unique discount codes for a lot of our other products as well. So make sure you subscribe to our email as well, because we send out weekly information and updates and things like that on all things that are health and wellness related. We've got some really good discounts, some of the brands that we really support and get behind. And so make sure you click on our link or subscribe to our emails to get access to those great deals.